Hey, what's going on, guys? Back for another video. Somebody reached out to me on Facebook, a subscriber, and I had to read it a couple times because they were like, oh, I enjoy your content and everything like that, but it seems like lately everything you put out has a negative bent to it, and what's wrong in your life, and blah, 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 this and that. So I just told them what I'm going to say here, and there's nothing wrong in my life. My life is awesome. I designed my life to be perfect for me. I'm out of debt. I live in a bus. I can travel wherever I want. My kids are grown. I did my job. I live the way I want to live, and I'm free to do it. I work for myself. I don't work for anybody. I don't punch a time clock. How the fuck can I be unhappy? Now, the content that I choose to put up here is real, and it's based on all my decades of experience making a living as a musician. And you know, I have to intertwine my content here with what's going on economically in the world and not really socio-politically. We stick with socio-economically because it has an impact on making a living as a musician. Now, there are YouTube channels that just come up here and they just put out fucking fluff and they ignore reality. And that's just not me. And if that's what you want, obviously you're not going to be here. But I just want to let you know I'm an exceedingly happy guy. In real life, if you know me, and some of you do, I'm joking all the time and I'm smiling all the time, and life is great. I'm blessed. I love it. God has blessed me. But as far as the music business goes, which in turn relates to this country economically, you know, I'm just going to tell it like it is, and I'm going to have to be real with you guys, because that's my mission here, to be real with you guys. So, you know, when I say that, let me just step back. Sometimes you got to be with these people because they're asleep. Let me just step back. In 2019, actually March 2020, just before the COVID shutdowns and hit, and entertainment was shut down in Florida. All my corporate bands and my corporate resort gig on the weekends, everything was shut down. All my bands never recovered. My business, we bankrupted my business. $250,000 worth of gear, an office, you know, all that stuff. But I was at my peak. And for my age at the time, I was doing 20 to 25 solo gigs a month. Solo. And then I would do a couple band gigs. That is an incredible amount of stress when you're playing solo on your arms, on your hands, especially when you've been playing almost 40 years. Vocally, I'd like to see anybody sing 20, 25 gigs a month. I mean, it's difficult to do. And so 20 to 25 solo gigs made me $5,000 a month. Say 20 gigs. Let's just say an average of $5,000 a month. $5,000 a month, 60 grand a year. And then you got to pay taxes on it and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, there's gas, there's upkeep, there's all sorts of things that you write off associated with running your own business. At that time, my apartment was $2,000 a month, and all my bills together was about $3,000 a month. But I don't think, in fact, I know just on my own income, I could have qualified for a one bedroom. So I could have lived that lifestyle as a musician. And but the problem with that is when you gig 20, 25 gigs a month, or say 20, 22 gigs a month, you do not have time to practice. You have to rest your hands and everything else. So you can't practice new tunes, you can't practice new techniques. You can't really progress beyond the fact that you get a lot smoother and things work and your chops are way up for that specific thing. But you can't really work on new techniques and things like that. You just have to rest. Your body has to rest. But for our family at the time, that wasn't enough to live on. My wife made a similar amount of money, and we were fine. Mind you, Groceries for my entire house cost about $1,200 a month then. My wife and I spend that now on both of us, just two of us. Steaks were $10.99 a pound. They're $13.99 a pound now at Costco. They're up to $17.99 and $21.99 at Publix for ribeyes, which is what I eat. It's food inflation, everything inflation. The same apartment I lived in 2020, the same exact apartment that was $19.95 a month, now costs $3,500 a month. Okay? So when I get on here and I tell you guys across the board how expensive things are now, and how I don't think you can make a living and live even a lower middle class lifestyle as a musician anymore. A lot of these guys I'm talking to now are just retirees, or they're waiting to retire so they can play music, or they have an income and stuff. That's all well and fine. That's fine. And maybe that'll be fine for you. So basically, gigging is now a gig. So I made a couple videos about that. We're in the gig economy. And so here's something positive for you guys. As far as the gig economy goes, there's no better gig than being a musician. There's no better gig. Even if you're playing a shitty gig in a shitty bar somewhere in Lake Worth, Florida, and you can go in there for 3 hours and walk out with $150 plus 25 or $50 in tips, that's better than I do working 8 hours delivering Uber Eats for the most part. So let me just tell you unequivocally that being a musician, specifically solo, is the best gig out there in the gig economy. But that's what it is now. It's another gig in the gig economy. I have a friend of mine who's a pro. He's played with, big artists. He lived in Nashville for years. He toured around the world on cruise ships, playing solo and playing in bands. He is a pro like me. He's done it for years. After the COVIDs, he came down. After he got off the Carnival, he moved to Tampa area, Florida. And the pro that he is, he just started hitting it hard. And he's newer to playing solo than me, say in the last 10, 12 years. So he's excited about it still. And he's now in an 80s band. He's in some other band. He plays solo a lot. He probably does, I think the last time I counted on his calendar, he might do 3 to 4 gigs a week, maybe a little bit more. He might do 20 gigs a month. But with the cost of living now, and if the average is $200 a gig, let's just say, and let's just say he makes another $1,000 in tips, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt on that. I doubt he makes that outside of the kind of places that I play, where the people drop 20s in like it's nothing. Thank you, God. But let's just say he makes $5,000 a month. His apartment bills, his food and everything. I'm telling you right now, he is living a subsistence existence. He's living a subpar existence on that now because things are so expensive. And it's fine if he's smart about it. He doesn't have bills, he doesn't have debt, things like that. So he could probably pull it off, and he wants to pull it off. I've said it before, if you want to live the regular middle style lifestyle with houses and payments and stuff like that, this is probably not the best thing to get into, but I advise against that anyway. Go with minimalism now, because we don't live in that paradigm anymore. So I just wanted to come on here today and let you guys know that I'm always going to shoot straight. I wish I was the kind of person who could just blow fluff up your ass, just to try to, monetize my channel and make money. And yes, I do want to come on here and do tutorials and how to play some sort of songs and stuff, but I have no time. If I'm not gigging on the weekends or sleeping, I'm in this car delivering because I'm trying to make money so I don't have to work all summer. And that's just the mode I'm in right now. But we're gonna get back to the point where I'm playing and I'm showing you how I do things solo. And so as I think of things to say or as I think of tips, I'll come on here and talk about it. But the bottom line is I designed my life this way. I'm exceedingly happy. I can still make it. I could still go out there and find more gigs. I choose to only play 2 or 3. I do 2, 4, 6, maybe 8 or 10 a month now, but that makes me good money. That makes me over probably $3,500 a month or more. 8, 5, 4, yeah, over probably $3,500 a month, and then I make another, $2,500 a month driving. Because I just don't want to completely drag myself out. I can't. I'm older now. My birthday's tomorrow, I think. No, Thursday. And I don't want to drag myself up to that level anymore. I just can't do it, and that's fine. But there are people who can do it. Like I said, J. Paul's older than me, and he's out there doing it, but he's mixing it up with band stuff. So anyway, we'll end it on a positive note. Being a solo musician is still the best gig in the gig economy out there. All right, have no fear.